So I actually wrote a script for this video, but it was terrible, so fuck it. And hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, which will be pretty much for the Wheel of Time series, books, and pretty much everything connected to the Wheel of Time, and honestly, fantasy in general. I'm a big fantasy fan. I've been a big fantasy fan for pretty much my entire life. I figured that it will be a good thing to make a channel about it, because it is my hobby to read books, fantasy books, and I guess that, it will become my hobby to make videos about them. I've been making videos for a lot of other stuff. Fantasy is my thing, baby. It's absolutely amazing. So, let's get on with the news. We can finally praise the light, because the Wheel of Time series is actually happening. You heard me. Remember the news that we got last year that the Wheel of Time series will be adapted into a small screen adaptation? Since then we haven't heard actually any new news on the project. That was until a few days ago. They've announced that the production studio will be Sony and that the series showrunner will be Rafe Judkins. I hope that I pronounced that correctly, by the way. I'm not exactly sure. He previously worked on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As a writer, of course. He'll also work as a writer and producer on the show. We know also that Red Eagle Entertainment will not be involved, in any sort of way in the project. They're just listed as a producers, but they're not involved in the project. They're pretty much giving them money to stay away from the project, from the Wheel of Time series, which is kind of funny, honestly, when you think about it. These are honestly pretty much the news that we got. There is nothing much else to talk about. It is pretty much that. I really hoped that the news will be more than just that. After all, we've been waiting for a year to hear anything from this project, and we just learned the studio and the showrunner. And I'm not saying that this is little. I was just hoping for something a little bit more, because after all, for a year you would think that there is a cast already, probably, or they've begun to search for a cast, or I don't know. I was just expecting the things to move faster with the project, but honestly I don't know why I even expected that, because I think that it is logical for this show to begin after Game of Thrones ends, because Game of Thrones is a huge competitor to this show, and I don't think that it is possible for these two shows to be airing at the same time. This is kind of my own opinion, but I think this is the most logical kind of situation that they're in. So I guess that the show will begin like after 2 years, 3 years, something along those lines. So they have plenty of time to kind of prepare everything to actually do a good project, and let's just hope that the project will be good, because we've experienced a lot of bad fantasy shows like Chronicles of Shannara, or any fantasy show, honestly, that is not Game of Thrones. But the Wheel of Time is entirely different story. The Wheel of Time has so much potential for a TV adaptation, so much potential. I just cannot begin to explain how good the books were, because I've been reading them pretty much from when I was 7, 8 or something, and I can tell you that these books rock. They got me into fantasy, and since then I just haven't left the genre. It is absolutely amazing. I seriously hope though that Rafe Judkins and the other people that are involved in the TV show will listen to the opinions of Harriet and the other people that were involved in the project. I wonder honestly if Brandon Sanderson, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce anything correctly, but if Brandon Sanderson will be involved in the project. I doubt it, because I think that he's making a movie on his own for his new series, the Stormlight Archive, but I'm not entirely sure. But I think he is, and I kind of hope that he will be involved in the project, because after all, he finished the Wheel of Time series. He finished it in a spectacular way. He returned the series to, you know, its former glory, which I don't think anybody else could have done. So he must be praised for that, and I seriously hope that he will, be involved in the project. Because after all, if we look at Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin is involved in the TV show, and that is probably why the show is actually so good. Because the creator is still with it, because the creator is involved in the show. And I think that Martin wrote like one episode every season up to season 4. After that, I'm not sure what his involvement in the show is, but nevertheless, he is involved in the show. He's still involved in the show, so I seriously hope that the producers and the writers of the show will kind of listen to Harriet and to everybody else that was involved in the books. So that is pretty much it. Honestly, there's not much else to cover. If you want to stay up to date with the Wheel of Time series, the Wheel of Time TV show, and pretty much everything Wheel of Time, be sure to subscribe to this channel, because I'll be covering pretty much everything. I guess that I'll be making reviews of every Wheel of Time book. So subscribe. That was your idea. Subscribe to my channel because I told you to. Also, thank you guys, and may the light watch over you.